Brenda. Welcome back to my channel, Let Her Out. Now, I have had the privilege to interview a lot of amazing people and share their wonderful stories. Now, I recently got an email from a young woman named Grace, and today she wants to share her story with us. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and meet Grace and hear her amazing story.
Hi Brenda. I am so glad to be sharing my story with you and doing this collaboration. My name is Grace. I am 38 years old. What? Yeah, I feel old. Luckily not as old as people that are older than me. But what I wanted to share my story about today, all the way from Texas, Southeast Texas, is this little guy. I have had him since I was 5 years old. I received him on the day that was Christmas. He was given to me by my Uncle Thomas, and I love my Uncle Thomas, even though I don't get to see much of him anymore. This doll has been with me ever since I was 5 years old. It's the only thing of my childhood that I still have. I wasn't able to keep very much because we moved around a lot. As a matter of fact, when people would ask me, are you an Army brat? And when I finally got somebody to explain that to me, I just started saying yes, because it was easier than saying we move around a lot. So a lot of the things I didn't get to hold on to from a kid, and life was a little bit rough back then. So this doll was my companion. He got me through a lot of hard times. Being able to talk to him like he was real, you know, little baby. You know, when you're a kid, you go through the motions of knowing how to take care of another human being by having dolls. And whether it's a boy or a girl, if you give them a doll, they're going to nurse it, you know, show them affection, things that we should learn. And, you know, when you're a kid. And telling your story about you growing up in your grandparents' house and all the things that you did inspired me to tell this story about Matthew. I named him Matthew, and he's been with me ever since. And I loved him so much that he actually inspired me to learn how to start sewing, because I lost his clothes. I had them for a very long time, but when my Uncle Thomas gave him to me on Christmas Day, he had a Letterman's jacket. It was red, it was white, it had a little coach symbol on the side of it. And I just thought, I have to sew him clothes because I lost the clothes. And my dad is actually the person who taught me how to sew, of all people. I never thought in a million years when I was younger that my dad knew how to sew. But he bought me my first sewing machine at a garage sale for $25, and he just set me in the middle of the dining room and said, have at it, just don't hurt your fingers. Because I lost the clothes, I ended up sewing him this pathetic little diaper thing. You could tell it's been on him ever since I learned. I did the seam at the top, but when it came to the sides, I had no idea how to do that, so I just cut holes and stuck his legs through it. But my dad actually was encouraging me to learn how to sew and to do things to be able to take care of myself. And this little guy inspired me to learn how to sew and make dolls. I love to make dolls for kids that grew up sort of similar to what, or even just not having anything. They grew up like I did, not being able to hold on to things and not having things. And I have sewn a couple of dolls, and I have given them away to charity with an organization that I am connected with. And I just love it. I just like to know that there is a child, this organization has allowed me to make dolls. And I like the fact that I make a doll. I've made more than a few handfuls of them, and I've sent them out. And this organization that I work with, and I'm not here to talk about the organization itself, it's just the fact that they ship it all across the world. And there's a child out there somewhere in Haiti that ends up with a doll that I made. And they get to know that somebody out there in the world loves them and cares for them enough to make them a toy that is one of a kind, and that they get to play with it and keep it as a companion to get them through hard times, or just to have. And I think that it's something that I'm really driven about, I'm really passionate about, is creating toys for kids and creating books for kids and things like that, just so that they know there is somebody out there who really cares about them. And I'm never gonna see this kid, I'm never gonna talk to him, and they'll never know who really gave them the book or the doll. And they'll just know somebody out there cared enough to send them something, like my uncle did for me when I was a kid. He gave me this doll, and it set into motion a lot of things in my life. Inspirations of making dolls and sewing. And there's so many more things that you could just do from being inspired with things like that. So, he has new clothes. It's been a while, and what inspired me to do this to begin with was Brenda, you sharing your story about growing up in your childhood home, and I was trying to think, what do I have left from my childhood? And he's been sitting in the table by my couch for a while now without clothes, me intending to sew him some clothes, and I never did. And I thought, what a great way to share a story with you and your audience about something that I still have left from my childhood. And I'm glad that you inspired me to do something that I've been waiting to do for a very long time. And I think it turned out pretty good. His little roll-up osh-bagosh sort of looking pants out of a pair of old blue jeans that I had, and little bitty green shirt to match his green nuts. So thank you, and it's been an honor. Bye.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Grace. It was very heartwarming. Now, if you have a story that you want to share, go ahead and write to my email at letterout10@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to share your story. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other incredible stories. Thank you.